Hey everyone, David here, and welcome to War for Cybertron Week. Yes, throughout this whole entire week, I'll be bringing you reviews that are related to Transformers War for Cybertron. Now, I don't have a lot, so bear that in mind, but I will try my best to spread them out throughout the week. And to kick things off, we got Transformers War for Cybertron Deluxe Class Bumblebee.
No. Can't find what you're looking for. BigBadToyStore.com. It's big, it's bad, it's a toy store. But more importantly, it has it all. From Transformer and Star Trek figures to Dark Knight collectibles and G.I. Joes. It has everything, complete with great customer service. It is the one stop to shop. BigBadToyStore.com. It's big, it's bad, it has it all. Click the link below and visit now.
Here we have Bumblebee in his Cybertronian vehicle mode. He's obviously yellow and black, which is Bumblebee's default colors, as well as some details here and there of neon red-orange, as you can see there, and also the Autobot insignia that you got right there, in order to give it that quality of the new, fresh design that they got for the Autobots and Decepticons for the War for Cybertron game. And overall, I really like him in this mode. I do find it a little odd that he does resemble a Volkswagen Beetle, despite the fact that this is pre-Earth. So I find it kind of funny that Bumblebee does not know how a Beetle looks like, but his Cybertronian vehicle mode still resembles that of a Beetle. So I think that's kind of funny, but nothing too major to complain about. Overall, I really like his design. I like how they managed to retain some qualities from his G1 look, as well as, like I said, adding all these fresh new details into him in order to make him different for the video game. Other than that, that's pretty much it. He doesn't really do much in this mode, which is one of my complaints, although it's not that big of a deal, the fact that he doesn't do much except roll around. And yeah, I like the design, except my only formal complaint, my official complaint about this mode is, oddly enough, not about the mode, but more of the transformation in order to get into this mode. When you first received this figure back in, what was it, 2009 when the game came out? I'm not 100% sure. But when I first got this figure, it came packaged in his robot mode. So the only other mode that you were left to transform him into was his vehicle mode, which you see right here. And trying to get him into that mode is an absolute mother because he's so compact, and I really like that that factor of the design is that he's very compact. He's very held together to make him seem even more of a coupe. But getting him into that state, transforming him into that mode is just, it's almost terrible. Now, when I say terrible, I don't mean the transformation is terrible. There was no lack of design putting it into it, but the fact that he's got a mode that is very compact, that's going to require folding in, his limbs, his legs, his arms, and his head all into this very compact state, and to do so is very difficult. At least the legs. The majority of the transformation is fine, but when it comes to the legs, it's terrible. It's trying to get the peg into the certain hole and making sure that all these panels line up. It's almost a nightmare. But the end result is fine, except here and there are some panels that are kind of detaching. Like you can see right there, there's a little bit of a gap. But nothing too terrible, nothing too noticeable, and not a whole lot of cable when you look at the underside. So that's a definite plus. Overall, I really like the Cybertronian vehicle mode, except, like I said, there's not a whole lot going on except he's cool to look at. So, let's get on with the transformation to robot mode. Ironically enough, in order to start off his transformation, you gotta pull out the legs, which is easier done than said, as opposed to the easier said than done factor of transformation from robot mode to vehicle mode. So all you gotta do is just take these pieces right here, his back wheels, as well as this piece right here, and just detach it from the main body. And it's a little difficult. It's locked in there pretty tight when you do get it in there. So bear with me here. Plus, I haven't reviewed figures in a long time, if you guys haven't noticed. So this is a little difficult for me to do on camera. There you go. So as you can see, it's all coming undone. Let's do the other leg. There you go. And something just fell out. It's his pistol. I'll get to that later on in his robot mode. But it comes, the pistol comes lodged in there. There's a peg right there. Let me see if you can see it. Peg right there, and the pistol has a nice little groove, and it's able to slide in very nicely in there. So that's definitely a cool thing that they went along and put, is that it has a bit of a storage device for his pistol, so it's not just laying around there when he's in his vehicle mode. So that's pretty cool. So now let's take the legs and extend them, detach them from the other pieces. And as you can see, Bumblebee is one of those figures that when it comes to the transformation, he's gonna come undone an awful lot when it comes to transforming him from his vehicle mode to his robot mode, because like I said, he's all scrounged up in there. You got to pull in, fold in the limbs and the head and everything. So obviously when you take everything out, everything's just gonna come apart, including the roof. As you can see here, the roof has already detached itself from the main body, so we're left with that. So let's take the legs and kind of put them out of the way here. Let's go ahead and just take this piece and pop it into its place right there, and that's going to form the torso. You see, you heard a popping sound, so it popped into place. And my feet have interlocked there. Okay. Alright, so this is how it came from underneath the vehicle mode. So what you do now is you take the entire portion of the leg and you pull it down to extend it, like so. And this is going to cause the wheel to fall from the side inwards, like that, because this piece of plastic is out of the way. So now the wheel is going to fold inside. And now we're going to take this piece here, which is going to form the foot, and we rotate it all the way around. We're going to take this piece, fold it down, turn it just thusly, and fold the piece up so that it matches along with the wheel. It doesn't, pop into place or anything, but it fits really nice. Then we take this panel, fold it forwards. And if you can see right there, there's a peg that goes into a tiny little hole. Sorry, my iPod doesn't have any focus, so if it doesn't come across very well, I'm sorry. And that forms the leg. And we extend it downwards because it's in this position when you push it into its underside in vehicle mode. So we're gonna take it and fold it down. And we simply just repeat with the other leg. So we fold it down. It's gonna cause the wheel to fall inwards. Take this piece, rotate it around, take this, press it up against, and there's two joints here, there's two hinges, so you have to fold it all the way across to make sure that all the panels line up right, as well as the foot piece fits into place with the wheel. So we take this, and once again, there you go, and we got ourselves our legs. Let me position him right. Let me tilt out the camera. That's something that I really miss about my Transformer reviews, is tilting the camera every single time I form the legs of a figure, and now I'm like, hey, we gotta tilt the camera up because we're not gonna be able to see. I miss these days, guys. I missed you guys so much. So anyways, let's continue. We're gonna take the front wheels and detach them from the main body, and this is gonna form our arms, like so. Extend them outwards. And it's just a manner of fidgeting and aligning the shoulder pieces along with the arms and getting them in place. Make sure that it's all correct here. And now we're going to take these pieces with the wheels and fold them outwards and then inwards into his forearm. And there's a peg that slides into a slot in his forearm, but it doesn't pop into place, so it just fits. So this could easily just come off, which I'm not a fan of, but it doesn't happen very often, so that's good. So let's take this and fold it inwards. And he's starting to come together now. Come together now. Bumblebee. Oh, that's nice. You like how I did that? Anyways. Alright, so time to flip this panel here and reveal his little head. Something, I haven't played with this figure in a long time, so I remember when I first transformed this just recently, after years of fidgeting with the figure, I forgot which direction to fold a panel, and I believe it's this side? No, is it the other side? No, yeah, it's backwards. Like so, and this will pop up his head, his beautiful head. And let's tilt his head up. There's his head. Okay, and last but not least is his backpack. What you're going to do is just take this black panel here and fold it back, like so, and this will allow room for these pieces together to fold like so. And you take this black panel and it fits into that nice little rectangular peg that you see right there. Take the backpack, fold it down, pop it into place, and there we have Bumblebee in his robot mode. And let me make sure that this is put together nice, make sure that there's no errors. I would hate to shoot this twice. And there we have Bumblebee. He looks really, really good. I really like his, this is another thing that I was talking about with the vehicle mode, is that I love that with the design of not only the toy, but also the design of the robots in the game, is the fact that they were able to take characteristics from from G1 and also mix them with new characteristics that take on a fresh new look and a fresh new design with the characters, and urban, I don't want to say urbanize them, but just you make them more appealing for a modern generation and for a new game that they had coming out at the time. So I like that they were able to make them very Cybertronian and not very Earth-like and very much more alien, which is how they're represented in the game, while at the same time winking at the fans and saying, hey, these are also the same characters that you remember from G1. And one of the things I really dig about the G1-esque vibe that Bumblebee is giving off here is how his wheels, his front wheels are, very circular and oval-like around his forearms. And the overall head sculpt, I mean, I really love the head sculpt on this figure. Like I said, he's got the horns, the face design is very much lifted from G1. And, it's Bumblebee. It's very much Bumblebee, while at the same time, it's a new iteration of Bumblebee for a new audience via the video game. So I really like the overall design, and it was translated very well onto the figure. He's got some really good articulation. I mean, he's got the basic articulation. I don't want to go into too much detail about figures' articulations from now on, because if it's basic, if it's the typical articulation that you would expect from a figure, then there's no need to go into too much detail. So Bumblebee, has all the basic articulation. He's got 2 joints at the elbow, so he's able to bend really well, as well as all the way back, like unrealistically back like that. And yeah, his hands rotate, but they don't really move up and down. So that is something that we could have. I really wish we would have had, is a nice little, much more movable ball joint on the hand in order to be able to move it up and down instead of just rotating it. But I'm happy with just rotating it, because there are certain figures that don't have any sort of mobility in their hands. Foreshadowing. Anyways, he's got some good mobility in his legs. He's got only 1 joint in his knees, so I guess that's not too good, but not a huge complaint. He does rotate at the upper thigh, and his mobility in his upper leg here is a little bit hindered by this piece here, but just a minor complaint. And his feet is probably my other complaint about the articulation, is the fact that because of the transformation, you have to settle with these pieces as feet. And yeah, they could move up and down slightly like so, but that's mainly because of the transformation. And because they're launched in this place because of these 2 pieces, they can't really, there's no sense of pivot. So putting him in certain poses is going to be a little bit limited. But overall, he looks nice as is. And his head also rotates all the way around, as well as looks up, left, and right. Actually, that's some really good movement for up and down articulation for his head. So that's pretty cool. He comes with 2 weapons. One I already showed, which is his pistol. And it fits nicely into either one of his hands. Both of his hands are molded so he can hold the pistol in either one. So that's cool. When I was fidgeting with this figure, I thought to myself, hey, I can pose Bumblebee like Rick from The Walking Dead. You know how Rick always points the gun down whenever he's aiming at somebody or at a zombie? He's always got it like this for some reason. There you go. Walking Dead Bumblebee, ready to take on the governor of Cybertron. And his other weapons are these retractable blades in his forearms. Now, here's the thing. These blades, so far, from what I can tell, the only way to get these blades out is to manually go here in the back, grab the blade, and rotate it out via this ratcheted joint. And there's his blade. I would deploy the other one, but he already has the pistol on this other on this other forearms, on this other arm, so there's no need to retract the blade from there. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the blade from this one and show it to you guys. The blade looks cool, but I looked left and right around his arm and I cannot find a button to deploy the blade. So I'm guessing that's the only way to deploy the blade is to grab it and pull it from underneath. And honestly, I kind of don't like that. And here's the wheel piece coming undone. But yeah, I don't like that his retractable blades aren't exactly retractable to begin with. I really would have liked if they would have put some sort of spring-loaded mechanism into those forearms in order to be able to press the button and have the blades come out like they have done with other figures of this size. So I don't see what the problem is. But it doesn't have that, so you have to pull out the blades manually. And when I first did that, I was afraid that I was gonna destroy the figure or at least break that part of the figure, because I thought that maybe they messed up here. There was supposed to be a spring-loaded mechanism, and instead I have to pull it out manually. So I really don't like that. And my only other complaint of Bumblebee in this mode, I mean, don't get me wrong, he looks amazing. You know, like I said, I love the design and I love how it translated very well onto the figure iteration of Bumblebee. But what I don't like is something that I don't like about other figures as well, is that if you lift up the arms and kind of get them out of the way, I don't know if you can see it, but, and there it is. Yeah, he's got a bit of a hollow spot right in the middle of his torso from a sideways point of view. So I really wish we could have had, you know, like a panel here or here in order to be able to fold down and cover up this space. I mean, we don't have to fill out the entirety of the space there, just a panel to hide it. I guess that in a way that's kind of what the arms are for. But when you do lift up the arms, I'm not a fan of figures that have these very empty hollow spots within their torsos or within their bodies that, you know, they try to fool you from a certain angle, especially when it comes to the marketing of the figure. But when you get the figure and you're kind of looking, you know, you're playing with it and looking around it, you notice things like that where it's a little hollow, and it makes the figure just a tiny bit cheap. But overall, I really like this figure. It's very durable, and like I said, he looks really cool. Transformation could be a little frustrating with the legs, but transforming him from vehicle mode to robot mode is much more favorable, much more friendly. And just the design of him is overall worth the purchase. I give Bumblebee an 8.3 out of 10, which is a B. Be sure to check out this figure as well as almost everything else Transformers at BigBadToyStore.com. It's big, it's bad, it has it all. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.